Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. Me and my colleague will do a short video presentation about Andragogy and Pedagogy. My name is Michael Komar and I'll be setting about Andragogy, and my colleague Connie Upia will dialogue about Pedagogy. We will stress the ideologies, philosophies, principles and characteristics of Andragogy and Pedagogy. After watching this video, you will come to know what Andragogy and Pedagogy really is, and may be able to relate them in various schools, institutions, and also be able to apply its theories and practices scientifically and systematically in teaching and learning effectively. The notion of Andragogy has been around for nearly about 2 centuries. It became particularly popular in North America and Britain as a way of describing and learning through the work of Malcolm Knowles back in 1913 to 1977. Knowles was an American educator who popularized the term Andragogy, the arts and science of how adults learn. It became the highly influential learning theory and continues to shape learning design up till today. Andragogy was introduced on at least 5 crucial assumptions about the characteristics and learners that are different from the assumption about child learn, which is traditionally pedagogy. Number 1 assumption was self-directed. Adults are self-directed. As a person matured, his self-concept moves from one of being dependent personality to one of a self-directed human being, independent and like to find their own ways and make their own decisions. Number two assumption is experience. As a matured person, he or she accumulates a growing pool of experience that become an increasing resource for learning. Adults are deep and breadth of experience to draw on and apply to new learning. They have diverse experience and knowledge and may have ideas about things, problem solving, critical reflection and reasoning skills. Number 3 is readiness to learn. As an adult, readiness to learn become oriented, increasing to development tasks of his or herself roles. Number 4 is orientation to learning. Orientation is an adult, his or her time perspective change from one of a postponed application of knowledge to immediacy of application. And according to orientation, your learning shifts from one of subject-centered or to of problem-centeredness. Number fifth one is motivation to learn. Adults are instructionally motivated by various value drivers, not only money, various value drivers like adults are motivated by job satisfaction, and self-esteem and a quality of life. That's the fifth assumption of Malcolm Knowles. However, Andragogy is the scientific study of adult learn. One very good example should be the rubber band theory, and it reflects best how best an adult learn, and they will want to do despite the complexity of content, theories or practices in nature. In Andragogy, you must come to know various type of learners. Number 1 learners in rubber band theory is observer. He will want to learn. He will want to think, and that's all. Number 2 is theorist. Theorist type of learner in a classroom setting. Theorist, he or she will want to find out more on a given topic. Number third type of learner in a classroom setting is a theorist. 4 type of learners is the pragmatist. he or she will want to reflect more on a particular topic that was learned and find new ways, and find new ways and more similar things on a given topic. And so, as discussed earlier on, Andragogy emphasizes self-directed learning and prior experiences and the practical application of knowledge in adult learners. Teachers should teach the students according to these 4 types of learners that was discussed earlier. These 4 types of learners should best reflect various teachers in the classroom settings. So each very best teacher must know the type of learners. So reflecting back to Andragogy with rubber band teacher's explanation should reflect on those 4 types of assumption. In short, Andragogy is the scientific study of adult learn, and it was introduced by Malcolm Noel in 1977, which is still effective and concisely practiced today by adult learners today. Thank you all, and I will now hand it over to my colleague to elaborate more on pedagogy. Thank you.
I once again welcome back to our YouTube presentation. My name is Connie, and I'm the second speaker of our presentation. My topic is going to be on pedagogy. First and foremost, I'd like to give the general overview of my presentation would be like. Firstly, I'll begin my presentation by defining the definition of pedagogy. On the same note, I'll be talking about the methods, theories, and strategies of pedagogy. The next point that I'll be talking about is the role of a teacher in pedagogy, and of course the importance of pedagogy in teaching. Last but not the least, I'll conclude my presentation, and finally I'll give the brief differentiation between the 2 respective topics, which are on pedagogy and andragogy. Now, what is pedagogy? Pedagogy is the arts and science of teaching and composing methods, theories, and strategies that educators use to facilitate learning. It's about understanding how students learn, what motivates them, and of course, how best to guide their development. Now, the first point that I'll be talking about is the methods of pedagogy. What is methods of pedagogy? This includes the specific techniques and the activities used in the classroom, such as lectures, discussions, group activities, and of course the hands-on activities. For example, student-centered approach is one of the example of methods that a teacher used in the classroom. In student-centered approach, it basically talks about the approaches where teachers encourage active participation through collaborative activities, group work, discussions, and allowing students to learn from each other. The second point is on the theories of pedagogy. Pedagogy draws from various theories of learning, such as constructivism, behaviorism, and social learning theories. Now, what is, for example, teachers can effectively facilitate learning by applying theory like cognitive load theory. Now, what is cognitive load theory? Cognitive load theory focuses on optimizing the flow of information to reduce cognitive overload and improve learning. For example, in PNG, using local materials and resources in lessons encourage students to work together on a project and providing opportunities for students to share their ideas and perspectives. That on the same note, I also would like to talk about the third point of pedagogy, and is about the strategies of pedagogy. Now, strategies of pedagogy refers to the overall approach of teaching, including how teachers plan lesson, access students' learning, and manage the classroom. In Papua New Guinea, teachers can effectively facilitate learning using the SBC by incorporating strategies and methods. For example, blended learning. These methods aim to combining online resources and classroom instruction for flexible learning, for individual paces and learning styles. Now, the next point that I would also like to talk about is the role of a teacher in pedagogy. Now, basically, I'll talk about the role of a teacher in pedagogy. Now, what is the role of a teacher in pedagogy? The role of a teacher in pedagogy is to guide, support, and facilitate students' learning. Teachers are responsible for planning lessons, delivering content, and help students understand concept, encourage participation, and adapt their learning styles. Teachers also assess progress, provide feedbacks, and making learning more engaging and meaningful. Okay, the final point, but not the least, is the importance of pedagogy in teaching. Now, what is the importance of pedagogy in teaching? The importance of pedagogy in teaching lies in its ability to create effective and engaging learning experiences. A well-structured pedagogical approach helps teachers meet diverse needs, making learning more accessible and meaningful. It improves students by using appropriate methods and strategies, encourage active participation, and foster critical thinking. Now, pedagogy also helps teachers adapt their teaching in different learning styles, making lessons more relevant and effective in achieving educational goals. Now, the final point that I'd like to talk about is the summary of my presentation. And I'll be concluding my presentation in this manner. Pedagogy is the methods and practice of teaching. It includes various approaches like teacher-centered approach, student-centered approach, inquiry-based, collaborative, and of course the critical pedagogy. Each offering different ways to encourage students in learning. Teachers play a key role in guiding and supporting students' learning. Teachers also create positive and effective learning environment. The importance of pedagogy lies in its ability to improve the outcomes of students and encourage active learning and making lesson more relevant and effective. That brings to us of my presentation. And the final point that I'd like to talk about is the main difference between andragogy and pedagogy. Pedagogy was my topic and andragogy was my colleague topic, and I would be saying this. Andragogy basically talks about the learning that took place in higher education, especially by the adults. The higher education like UOG, Unitech, Polytech, UPNG, and so forth. Whereas the pedagogy talks about the learning that takes place ranging from elementary all the way to grade 12, which is known as Department of Education, and this is about the learning of that children. That brings us towards the end of our presentation, and thanks for watching.